Tim Pool demolishes a woke MSDNC or MSNBC reporter live on his own show. It's crazy. Thank you so much for watching Bring the Asteroid. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe to the channel, comment, and let's get into it.
From the Daily Mail, MSNBC host left stunned by star impeachment witness revealing he is backing Trump because Harris is an existential threat bigger than January 6th. I don't know if you guys saw this clip, but this was absolutely wild.
It's important for you to say no more Trump because of his January 6th conduct, and do you stand by that?
No, I don't stand by it, and I'll tell you why. I've now lived 4 years under the Biden-Harris policies, and I have to say that those policies are not only becoming an existential threat to our country's way of life, but to our allies as well.
So when you, I'll let you finish, but this is so striking. You said it was a no for me after that, January 6th. I did. And here we are right now.
I did.
And you're saying it's a yes for you.
It is a yes for me.
Wow.
It is an absolute yes for me. That is how badly the Biden-Harris team have prosecuted their job.
But the whole point you seem to be making was that January 6th and that kind of attack on democracy is bigger than any policy.
But I am seeing so many attacks on democracy that eclipse January 6th.
So I want to ask Sarah.
If you want to ask me what those are, I'm happy.
Well, I'm going to go Sarah in the back.
But
this is, I appreciate
Kamala Harris why she flip-flopped on 16 things.
Look, I appreciate everyone being here. Sarah, I'm curious your reaction to someone who, like you, has participated, and I say that positively, Ambassador. You, as a government official, were asked to testify, and you did. And then you drew a line at Jan 6. And then, Sarah, we see this with certain people, and I say it respectfully, who say that, he's at the table with you, and then tell us years later, never mind. Can you explain that, and what's your response to that?
A couple things I want to hit real quick. First, Kamala Harris, I think we should give her grace that she can moderate her positions. If J.D. Vance can go from calling Trump...
Okay, blah, blah, blah. This is incredible. Sondland, do you guys remember his testimony?
Yeah.
This was when we had the dual split-screen realities, where there were... I can't remember who posted it. It was like a gym, and they had two different channels on, and they both said the opposite. Sondland confirms quid pro quo. Sondland says no quid pro quo. Either way, MSNBC has a guy on who's like, I said Trump is a no for me. Imagine the narrative they ran. This is a backfiring of all backfirings. They said January 6th was an existential threat, a threat to democracy. They paraded around these people who said I could never vote for Trump because of this. And Kamala Harris was so bad that they're like, I didn't think the bar could get any lower, but it did. And now I'm definitely voting for Trump. That basically is, it's taking all of the most extreme rhetoric of J6 and now telling the country, remember all of the scary things we told you? That's actually better. You're better off under that than Kamala Harris. Amazing.
Insane.
It is amazing. And I think, you know, Sondland should be commended for publicly stating this. I think it would have been very easy for a lot of people who had sort of said one thing to then kind of disappear into the background and never address it. I think it's good to have people say, like, I maybe was critical of Donald Trump at one point, but this crisis, the crisis we are facing right now under the Biden-Harris administration, is so bad that we cannot pretend it's not an attack on democracy, that people are not suffering because of this. You know, it's obviously funny to watch the MSNBC host be like, stop talking, Sarah, you tell me something else. Because I think there is this expectation that you, once you have like walked away from the conservative party or the Republicans or whatever, that you were never going to go back. And that's why right now the Kamala Harris administration is like, we got Dick Cheney, look at all these great Republicans, like Adam Kinzinger spoke at our convention.
Oh, dude.
Like all of the Republican rejects that we don't want, our party doesn't claim you guys anymore, all the rhinos, the neocons, now they're supporting Kamala, like as if that's a good thing. That doesn't make Kamala look good at all.
Debate. I know I said...
It's like, oh, Kamala can get along with Republicans, but they're the warmongering worst people. It's the establishment. The globalists, they are all one. It's the uniparty.
Yesterday, but J.D. Vance is like, we got a great coalition. We got RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard here. And then Tim Walz is like, we got Bernie Sanders and Dick Cheney.
Right.
Like, wow, that's nothing.
And Taylor Swift.
You could have
and
that.
Taylor
Weird.
Swift.
It's interesting, too, though. You notice this is on MSNBC, and James O'Keefe came out with an undercover report today showing a guy, one of the producers at MSNBC, saying that MSNBC has will do I think everything they can to help Kamala win the election, that they have dumbed down their viewers over the past few years and really narrowed their focus, and that this has all essentially been done intentionally to maintain a Democrat stronghold. It's sort of obvious. We all know it, but it's still pretty amazing to get that kind of transparency.
Do we think that the host knew Sondland was going to say this, or was it a shock to him? What do we think?
I think it was a shock.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, because
obviously we need more of this because these are the types of people's points of view that will change voters' minds.
absolutely. Navarro, of course, I'm fairly certain he will be in the next Trump administration, and he's going to defend Donald Trump. He's a good dude.
Totally.
And so I think what MSNBC was likely going for is we're going to get a Trump guy. We're going to get an anti-Trump person, this woman, and then we're going to bring in a guy who's supposed to be middle of the road, and he's going to say, no, I'm not with Trump. And then he shocks him by saying, actually, nah, I'm with Trump now. And you can see his surprise.
It's on
Like,
the
wait.
table. It's on the
They
table.
want two of the three former Trump-affiliated people to be against him, so that it looks like the majority of people who know Trump are turning against him. But what I actually love about this, Peter Navarro's great, he's been on the show before, is how still he's sitting, like taking this
And then he
in.
just smiles.
And then he's like, okay, and I'm on your side. Like, you flip-flop on 1 team, Kamala's flip-flop on 16. Like, I think there is this really good
And then he's got the
camaraderie.
little smile.
Oh my God.
Is
love the little smile.
Rappaport back with Trump now?
I don't know. I haven't paid attention
Because
too much.
he was like, voting for Trump is on the table. Big Dick Donald Trump.
It's on the
That's what he was
table.
saying.
I loved
And then
it.
something happened. I can't remember what it was, but he was like, no, voting for Trump is off the table. Yeah, but you look at Iran striking Israel now, and that's one of his principal issues. A lot of these Democrats, and I try telling people, guys, there are people who love Israel in this country, and it's like 60%, 70%, okay? So we get the internet is full of people who want to argue over this. I'm telling you, when the protests happened against Israel, pro-Palestine, with even some elements that were outright pro-Hamas, you saw Democrats say, that's it, final straw, I'm voting for Donald Trump. After what we just saw in the Middle East, I don't understand how you don't have Rappaport being like, Trump's the only answer.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There was an article in the Telegraph today talking about how the U.S. needs to back Israel to destroy Iran's nuclear sites. And in the article, it says the UK doesn't need to get directly involved. I was like, yeah, okay, thanks, guys.
This is interesting. You know, I wonder how many actual sane individuals are going to start. I don't know if sane individual is the right word, but people like Sondland, you know, they're probably these, you know, neocon or establishment conservative types who looked at Donald Trump and said, this is not decorum. This is not what we want in leadership. And then they got Joe Biden and they went, my God, what have I done? Now Kamala Harris is stepping up to the plate and they're like, oh, Lord, help us. We need Trump back. And
Yeah, I think that's a very big possibility. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.